Paramjeet ma'am is a very dear friend of mine, but more than that, she is a very dynamic principal of Kamla Nehru Public School, and she has, spearheaded her technological interventions in the school to put a very local school of Fagwara village onto the global map. And as a result, today she holds the chair of SDG Chopal, which is the education wing of SDG Chopal. And I think some of you or most of you should be aware that SD stands for Sustainable Development Goals. So the Science Department and the SSC Department has been working on Sustainable Development Goals, and their purpose and the aim is to support all the initiatives at the national level, at the state level, at government, and the level of institutions for advocacy and community engagement on SDGs. And the reason we have invited Paramjeet ma'am is that she has so well integrated SDGs in her own school curriculum that something which was a document of policymakers, where the policymakers at the global level had set some lofty goals for the whole world, they are being translated into actionable items at the level of school children. Now that's remarkable. So, for example, if you have a goal like no hunger or no poverty, and what can children do to ensure that goal becomes reality? So that indoctrination of goals into the mindset of the various curricular activities is what is remarkable, and that is what we're going to learn from Paramjeet ma'am. Paramjeet ma'am, you are certainly a pioneer and a torch bearer in this field, and your technological interventions, whether it is spearheading the Microsoft programs or it is spearheading the Twitter missions, they are very known to all your followers, including me. Okay, so therefore, today it is my indeed a proud privilege to introduce you to my own colleagues and learn a few lessons from you. So over to you, Paramjeet ma'am.
Thank you, Sandhya, for all those great words and kind words. Yes, we are dear friends, no doubt about it. Have known you for the past, I think, more than 5 years, and it has been so nice, taking this friendship along. So I thank you for this opportunity, and I'm loving to join all the staff members who are here for this SDG workshop. We begin now, and I request we'll be sharing the screen soon. Charu ma'am is my Vice Principal Activities, and she's going to share the screen, and then we start. In the meantime, SDGs are very, very dear to my heart. I just love them to the fullest, to the core. And I'm always ready for SDGs workshop or training or talking about SDGs 24/7. So apart from whatever we discuss here or I share with you, I'm sure if you have some more questions, we are open to it at the end of the session. So what I've tried to do is to introduce these SDGs to all of you who don't know what SDGs are, a little bit, of course, and then actually how we are practicing and living it in our school is what I'm going to focus on. So here we go. So before we go, again, it's again another before, let me wish you a very happy new year. And let us all paint this world in 2021 with the colors of SDGs. The 17 goals have 17 colors. And if we can paint this world with 17 colors, it would be fantastic. And today I look upon every educator, and especially all who have joined this particular session, to paint this world with the 17 colors of SDGs. So here we go. So what are these goals? These goals are for transforming our world, and it is the 2030 agenda of United Nations Organization, UNO. There's 17 in number. We'll be discussing the goals one by one, and you can just see them. They all have a different color, and every color speaks about the goals. But one thing is important, they all interrelated to each other. Yes. And then the United Nations says that in this journey of sustainable development goals, we should not leave anyone behind. So this is very, very important. Leave no one behind is what goes with every goal and every talk and every description or note written on the SDGs. So SDGs were established in 2015 in September. And these are 17 Sustainable Development Goals officially adopted by 193 countries. And these 193 countries include India also. And we are one of the signatories, means our leaders have signed an agreement, a promise that we are going to work for attaining these goals by 2030. Now, these are the goals, and every goal has set of targets. And if we add the targets of all the goals, there are 169 targets. Because these goals are to be achieved by 2030, so there are some targets there, and we have to achieve those targets for every goal. So one goal could have 10 targets, 5 targets, 15 targets. It all depends upon how it has been put up. And there are 241 indicators. Now, indicators means a target, this has been achieved if this is visible happening. So that's what is known as indicators. And the mission statement is we need to achieve this by all means. Yeah, a blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all by 2030. So everywhere it is 2030, which you're going to hear. So right now we are 2021 and we have 9 more years to achieve these goals. Yes. So the first goal is end poverty in all its forms everywhere. So see, we would love to have a sustainable world where there is no poverty, where everybody has all the amenities and facilities of life, education is there, everything is there. So, the first begins in poverty in all its forms everywhere. And the first target, if I talk about, I'll be talking about few targets only, that by 2030, eradicate poverty measured as people living on less than $1.25 a day. That means anybody who's earning 91.45 rupees, they are under the poverty line as per international standards. Every country have their own measurements. So by 2030, we need to eradicate poverty is one thing. And then the other targets, some of the targets, small little this thing I would be adding, create sound policy for poor at regional and national level. By 2030, reduce at least half the number of the proportion of men, women and children in poverty. So there are quite a number of targets for every goal. We move on to goal number 2 now. And the goal number 2 states that zero hunger, end hunger, achieve food security and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. So it says by 2030, end hunger, ensure access to the poor and vulnerable societies, infants to have safe, nutritious, sufficient food for all year round. So that's what the goal says. And then by 2030, double the agricultural productivity. It talks about genetic seeds, it talks about agricultural subsidies, it talks about how we can move ahead and have enough food so that nobody sleeps hungry. Yes. We move on to goal number 3 now. Goal number 3 is good health and well-being, and we are all aware how important this good health and well-being is there these days. Trying to mute my phone. So good health, it's reduced global, when they talk about good health, they say reduce global maternal mortality ratio to less than 70 per 1 lakh children born. So this is the type of, and then we should eradicate and end tuberculosis, malaria, combat waterborne disease. So all these are all about our health. And then reduce number of deaths due to traffic accidents also on the roads. So every aspect is being covered. And now we move on to goal number 4. Goal number 4 says, ensure inclusive and quality education for all and promote lifelong learning. Now, this is very important goal because I always feel sustainable development goals. See, if all the children are well educated, and they understand what education is all about, and they are aware, I'm sure they can take care of their health. And if they are well educated, I'm sure they can get good jobs because they qualify, they're technically sound. So all this, and they can always get better jobs. So they say by 2030, ensure all girls and boys they have pre-primary education. That's what NEP talks about, and proper pre-primary education so that they can have a proper primary education also. Now, every target, when I say if this is goal number 4, so it will be 4.1, 4.2, 4.3. This is the way the targets go. And 4.7 is very, very important target, and I'm going to talk about it right now. Target 4.7 says that by 2030, ensure that all learners acquire the knowledge and skills to promote sustainable development, including among others through education for sustainable development and sustainable lifestyles, human rights, gender equality, promotion of a culture of peace and nonviolence, global citizenship and appreciation of cultural diversity of cultures' contribution to sustainable development. So even education to sustainable development goals comes in quality education, and that's target 4.7. So I'm so glad today all of us would be aware what these goals are all about. Yes. Now, since every goal has a target, I would not be talking about the targets. We'll talk about how we can actually live it in our schools. But yes, we'll be talking about all the goals. Goal number 5 is gender equality. It is achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Yes. Goal number 6 is all about clean water and sanitation. This is ensure access to water and sanitation for all. And that's what we would love to have in our country and everywhere else around. Yes. So slowly and steadily, we are moving from one goal to another, and we have reached to goal number 7, which is all about affordable and clean energy. Ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and energy for all. Modern energy for all. That's clean energy. That's what they talk about. Energy from the sun, the wind, alternative sources of energy should be there, and affordable and clean energy is what they talk about. 8, we'll go a little faster now. So it's decent work and economic growth. Goal 8 promotes inclusive and sustainable economic growth, employment and decent work for all. Yes. Goal number 9 is all about industry, innovation and infrastructure. Build resilient infrastructure, promote sustainable industrialization and foster innovation. Yes. Goal number 10 is all about reduced inequalities, the differences we have amongst ourselves, caste, color, creed, everything, nationality. So reduce inequality within and among countries. Yes. Goal number 11 is all about sustainable cities and communities. So how can we make cities inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable is goal number 11. Goal number 12 goes for responsible consumption and production. Remember the amount of dresses we buy, the amount of food we buy. Many a times the date expires, we don't even use that for food, or many a things we don't use it because now it's out of fashion or something like that. And goal number 12 is all of us to realize and ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. So whatever we need, we use it, and whatever we need, we produce that. That's responsible consumption and production. Goal number 13 is climate action. All of us are aware of it. Take urgent action to combat climate change and its impact. A very popular goal is goal number 13. Goal number 14 is all about life below water. It is conserve and sustainably use the oceans and seas and marine sources. So it's all about whatever lives below water, life below water. So when we talk about plastics and polythene and everything, we need to keep the water clean, our oceans clean. And that's what goal number 14 is all about. And then goal number 15 is life on land, sustainably manage forests, combat desertification, halt and reverse land degradation, halt biodiversity loss, and we are all aware of life on land. It really affects us. Goal number 16 is peace, justice, and strong institution promote just, peaceful, and inclusive societies. I wish everybody adopts this goal, and I'm sure once we adopt peace, justice, and strong institution, I'm sure we're going to help the poor and the needy and the hungry so that peace prevail and justice is there everywhere and the societies are inclusive. Yes. And the last goal is goal number 17, partnerships for the goals. So, my beloved educators, these are the 17 goals. And every goal is related to our living on this planet, to our thoughts, our use, our vision, how we are living our lives. It's related to all this. So these are the 17 goals which are very, very important. And let's see how do we practice in our school. Of course, we have embedded our curriculum with the Sustainable Development Goals, and uh, and whatever we teach, we link it with a particular goal, and that makes the children always remember. Sustainable Development Goals cannot be lived by one teacher or two teacher. It has to be the whole school vision. It has to be the goals need to be visible in your school, and the goals need to be practiced and promoted in your school, so in our schools rather. So let's move ahead. I'll take you through my school now. This is a school and this is a big wall. It's 25 feet tall wall and it stands straight. And the moment you enter the school gate, this wall is of my primary pre-primary section, the kindergarten section, and you can see that the goals are visible. They're painted tall and strong and they're mighty goals, and they welcome everybody who enters the school, and everybody comes to know, okay, what are these? Parents now know what are these goals. Any visitor, you ask them about a school, they would say, acha acha wo goal painted hai na, it goes like that. Yes. We move on now to the next slide, and this talks about our school reception. You can see the backdrop is painted with the 17 colors of the Sustainable Development Goals, a gentle reminder that these 17 colors are the goal colors and we need to work for the goals. And we always make it a point to sing this song together. We can change the world, spreading the message of SDGs. So that's our favorite work. Yes. And then our 25 feet tall wall forms a backdrop for many functions, for many special assemblies we have, and we practice, preach, and promote SDGs. And this was during one of the Republic Days when we linked, goal number 16. We talked about peace, justice, and strong institution. And see, this is the way the children keep saying, now, we love SDGs, we are the SDG goalkeepers, we are the SDGs heroes, they keep talking about, and they always say that we are the SDG generation. It has percolated down now. Yes? And, not to leave a sports day, annual function, anything, everything is, we have a goal, a targeted, fixed up that we're going to, our aim or our theme of the annual function or the sports meet is this particular goal. Now, this is the school playground, and this is the central area of the 200-meter track where mass display happens after the field and the track events. So the first picture is all about climate action, you can see it, but at the back end you can see that there are big banners which show SDGs. So we have started practicing it way back from 2015 December when we came to know, and then we've never looked back, and a backdrop of a sports function is always SDGs. Amongst our children. The center picture is by grade 11. They wanted to, go for a ramp walk. And we said, yes, you can go for it, holding the goals and having practicing and, having the music of SDGs. They went ahead. And then my kindergarten talking about quality education and goal number, that's 4, and goal number 3, yoga, talking about the yoga, and then of course a street play. So we dance, we sing, we act, we do everything when it comes to global goals to make it more visible. Yes.
Paramjit ma'am, just to interrupt,
Yes.
uh, could you please request Charu to screen sharing again, because your slides are frozen, so they are not changing as you're speaking.
Okay, so Charu, either you do it again, or if you want, I would do it. Try once again, please. If the slides are fixed, then that's not a good idea. Please rejoin.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
So in the meantime, I'll do some talking. Until now, whatever you have seen, Bete, you can put up some questions.
I have a question, ma'am.
Yes.
That why do you think it was so important to bring something as big as a sustainable development goals to the children in the school of, you have even introduced it to the primary kids. We are only thinking of introducing it to our middle school kids, because these are related to our GDP, these are related to our national policies. So why did you think it was so important to bring them to that level?
Bete, we have gone for K-12. You know, tomorrow, when my kindergarten grows up, they should not say, why did you not teach us and tell us about SDGs when we were in the kindergarten? Why did you wait when we came to 6th class? Whatever they understand, it's all right. You will see how they have in these 6 years, even a child of nursery, LKG, UKG knows what, they know that there's something SDG, more than enough. They know there's something about climate, more than enough. They know that they're not supposed to waste water, more than enough. The parents are aware. You don't have to give a full package, right? You begin with small little things, what children can do it. All right, so keeping that in mind, we went ahead for K-12. Otherwise, my kindergarten teachers would have been kept, they would have been out of this journey of SDGs. The parents of children of kindergarten would be out of SDG journey. I'm sure I'll share some small little videos of UKG, LKG children who have been talking about SDGs. All right, the one, it's actually very, very important that, very often we say catch them young. So this is what catching them young. Who says they should know that they know the meaning of each and every goal? And who says if the government and the policy makers have to act for it, right? But everybody has a small little role. We all can act for SDGs. We can take a step the way we want it. We don't have to wait for the government to act. All right. Switching off the light in my house and saving energy is also SDGs, right? I don't want my government official to come and switch it off. I'm saving energy and, to make it a better sustainable world. So that's how we go about. So perhaps this is a, a little big presentation, maybe that's the issue. So
Because sometimes it's the network also. Charu ma'am have been able to sort it.
I, I don't know. She's trying. She tried once, but it didn't work. And then maybe she's trying to join again.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I'll talk about whatever we're going to see. You know, uh, in the coming presentation, some general talks. Anytime and every time we have an opportunity, we would go for adopting and working in SDGs. We have an annual function, we'll pick up one SDG and the entire theme of the annual function would be, say, climate action goal number 13, or it would be quality education, or it would be peace, justice, and strong institution. That would be the theme. So this is how the children come to know about it. Yes, you don't have to study the targets and the descriptive indicators when it comes to children, but the basic things they need to understand. Some echo there now, and I'm only on a single device. Anyway, so we move on. And with the advent of this online teaching and learning, remote learning, we took our SDGs online. And initially, all activities were done face to face in the playground, in the during the sports meet, annual function, special assembly, morning assembly. Everything was done like that. But now everything is done online. We still go for it. Uh, yeah, Charu has joined. Let's see.
So while Charu ma'am joins, I have another question. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, please interact. Yeah.
I mean, you've been talking about introducing it and creating awareness, right? And I want to know that that's one end of the spectrum where a child knows that, wasting food will not help me achieve no hunger, right? And so therefore I should not waste food, or I should switch off lights because that will help me achieve another sustainable development goal. But what's the other end of the spectrum? How are the senior students taking it up?
A fabulous question, and I have a real example for this. What we did, we picked up 65 villages from where our children are coming. We decided to work for goal number 11, right? We decided we are going to plant trees and create green spaces for the elderly and the senior citizens of the villages. We had our Malis were involved because in our school, the Malis, the guards, the Sevadas, the ladies, the class, everybody knows SDGs as such. And they had their nursery where they planted the sukhchain. Sukhchain can be planted very easily. It's a tree and it's a medicinal plant too. And so we had a nursery full of sukhchain plants. And our senior children would go to different villages and start planting over there. The environment club of Fagwara was taken along, and even the district forest officer was involved in all up actions which are something to do with green spaces and goal number 15, life on land. And for this, what we did was that we had two children, the SDG ambassadors. We took an oath, and they all were SDG ambassadors. And then these children were supposed to look after whether the trees are being the saplings which have been put are being watered or not, whether they are protected from the animals which are moving around. And then the sarpanch was involved, and he said, "आप चिंता ना करें, अब आपने बूटा ला देता है मैडम, हुन एनु संबंधी जिम्मेवारी साडी." That's the type of things we are doing it. So that I'm not showing, but yes, the how we took the oath and all those things. I can share endless videos on all this and how we are doing it and how we are going about. So that's all that means that's one such example of it. Then coming to the local government school, we keep inviting them to the Atal Tinkering Lab, and we have taught them coding over here. So that's another thing, trying to give some quality education to the local school children. So that's what we have been doing. All right. And then visiting various old age homes. And then, in Pagwara, there's one 10 rupees ki thali type, taking the children over there so that they can actually understand what does it all mean. So that's how we go about. So,
I think that's really great. Yeah.
Charu, if you're having some challenges, shall I try? Please let me know. She's not there, I think.
Yes, ma'am. I think the presentation is corrupt. It's showing. I'm trying
So,
to.
so what you do in the meantime, see, we have it at 2 3 places. Let me give it a
Yes, ma'am.
try. And
Yeah.
I don't know whether I'll be able to try and talk to. I'll try to do both the things anyways. So please stop sharing so that I can share.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it visible now?
We'll wait.
But why should it not be visible? I don't understand. Have you? mm, I'm also trying to join again, so please hold on for a second. Challenges never happen, but why today? Testing times, lady. I'll join again, please.
Okay. Saptarishi sir, thank you very much for that musical interlude. Maybe you can switch on your camera and we can see you play. Okay. All right. Now, in the meanwhile, the whole purpose of this presentation and sharing this with you was that how SDG can be easily incorporated into all subjects, whether they are curricular subjects or whether there are co-curricular subjects. All right. I think in this regard, I'll ask Hima ma'am to share. She had made a film on the SDG incorporated in our own school. Hima ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm there, but ma'am, the video, it became corrupt, so I don't have it right now with me.
Oh, that's all right. But you can talk about what you had in that video and what did you show in that video?
Yeah, actually, I had taken clips of various activities that is being done in our school, like regarding poverty, we have been distributing food and other items. So that is one
Hmm.
part. Then regarding the clean environment and sanitation, we showed our, toilets and everything, the cleanliness that we are undertaking in our school. So that was
Hmm.
also there. Then regarding the climate action, I had, taken up the various activities and
Hmm.
presentations that the children have done. Then,
Hmm.
then also, the like life on land, how we are teaching students in our class regarding the life and what are the challenges that are being faced. That I had shown there. So,
Hmm.
what I'm trying to tell you is all the basically 10 goals I had touched upon that
Hmm.
we are doing in our school in form of activities and other work. So
Yeah.
that was the presentation that I had made.
And their presentation had won the first prize. Am I right, Rehima ma'am?
It was second prize, ma'am.
Okay, so they had won a second prize in the inter-school. It was an inter-school event
Yes,
organized
yes,
by
ma'am. It was an
Alcon,
interesting.
I think.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this was organized by Alcon. So therefore, I mean, it is just an example to show that there is a lot of work we do and which can be aligned with the sustainable development goals, right? But the only thing is that there is a lack of awareness about sustainable development goals amongst us as teachers and among our students. So if I ask you, how many of you have talked about sustainable development goals in your classroom? So could I have a raise of hands to let me know who all have talked about sustainable development goals in their classroom? Okay, there are two persons who have raised their hands. Three. All right. Four, five, six, seven. That's right. So you can imagine that there are only 7 of us who have talked about it in our classrooms, and whereas this is something which we can link in every lesson of ours. All right. So that's the whole objective. So, Paramjeet ma'am, are you ready?
Yes, yes, I think I'm ready.
Okay.
Charu, please, we
You.
move on now. I'll be a little fast.
Yes.
So you've taken up another
Yeah.
presentation, so it's okay. So we were there for this particular. See, this is our sports meet, and during a sports meet, we went for climate action project. We were participating in co-intimers, and you can see actually the children sitting in the verandas, and grade seventh of mine had taken part, and there you can see that they are actually painting and drawing. And when we showed this during a sports meet, from one whole class had to hold this 25 feet long a poster because it would crumple and we had to put some, small wooden sticks and all those things. The audience, they stood up and it was a standing ovation to see that we were talking about. My audience are all from villages, but they still love all that we do. So yes. And this is the SDG footprints, everywhere it is SDG. So this is Splash SDG art fair. So this was more like a fair for every class. Every class had to do some or the other art activity. And this is my grade 2. And once they had done it, you can see how they came in line, how the art teacher and the class teachers are helping, and the footprints were made, and then the trees were made, and the trees are put in the school verandas, and the children are so happy. This is my footprint, this is my footprint every time they walk around. So making SDG visible, involving the children is all
And
about.
just a
Yes.
minute. Can we just check with everybody if they can see the screen is being shared with everybody? Is the
Yes,
screen being
ma'am.
shared? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am, we are able to see.
Yes, ma'am. It's
Yeah.
visible.
Yes, ma'am, we are able to see.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And you can always speak out, please. If something is incorrect, we can always go, hold on. Yes, please. Charu, we need to have a faster pace, I believe. Not to leave this, uh, this is my last year's celebration. The Teachers' Day celebration was there. And what we did, we gave one goal to a group of teachers. The first group, which you see, is a group of my pre-primary teachers. They were given SDG goal number 4, and then the central one, you have all the gentlemen over there, and one of my female teacher, physics teacher, that's the science department, and so on. And then we sang for SDGs at that particular time, and we had great fun. We went for a catwalk for SDGs when it came to this the Teachers' Day celebration, and in the end we had a group picture. Now the next one which you see is we are the lead school, and there are 6 hub schools, and we went for monochromatic painting of the SDGs. The way they visualize. So we just drew it rough, and we had 6 schools who had come, and the children sat down and they painted it together. See what a feeling, painting together. And one goal with one shade was always that which was looked into. So that particular monochromatic colors were being used, so children learned what is monochromatic paintings, and they actually collaborated with others. Partnership was goals was what we practiced when we had children from other schools, and then the fellow principals were there. They were surprised when we put it down, and we walked around the 61 feet long SDG poster. Yes. And this is another picture. This is a peace pole, and peace is it's all goal number 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. So we got this electric pole, which is a cemented one, which was a little cracked somewhere, lying on the road. So I had to talk to the SDO also कि भाई हम मुझे ये आप खंबा दे दीजिए प्लीज, ये हमें चाहिए, आप उठा ही नहीं पाएंगे type of thing, crane से उठाना पड़ता है. Anyway, somehow we could get hold of a tempo. We become very innovative, and we just, and my all my sevadas, my gardeners, and everybody got it inside, because then in the cemented building, this is built all around, and you put it there. And this peace pole also has 17 colors with a symbol of peace, and it is peace pole is pretty popular in different parts of the world, and people get around, stand around the pole to pray for peace. So we got the 17 colors, and you can see my art teacher, and they prepare painting those 7 rings, which we have put it in the corridors, and they hang from the rooftop. So the visibility of SDGs, yes. And then this is what I was talking about when I said that the local action project, which we thought enough of awareness, and so now why not some action? So we had gone for these villages as such. And then we picked up then gender equality. So 1 boy and 1 girl as an SDG ambassador for every class. And we had the oath taking ceremony. We went for the kindergarten also, because they were so happy about their badges, which was put. And we all took oath, and that we're going to work for SDGs. And this was before the local action project I talked about. Yes. And when that was done, my teacher said, even we want to be ambassadors, we all working. And then we had the oath taking ceremony for the teachers also. You can see my wonderful, great, enthusiastic teachers. And then you can see the typical picture which we had around the Peace Bowl also. So we all working together. So they are the SDG teacher ambassadors. And then we never miss an opportunity. This was an opportunity when we had 20 international Miss Multinational contestants who had, and there one of the activities of this contestant is organized in lovely professional university. And since we have collaboration with that university, we requested them that if they could bring all these ladies to our school. And we went and practiced goal number 15 Life on Land, where we planted 20 saplings in 20 seconds, right there. The pit was dug, the sapling was placed, and the children had 20 flags of different countries, and they were taken to one particular hole, which the pit which was dug, and that's how we went around. And then in the end, we had a question answer session. So we were practicing again collaboration for goals. So an opportunity, and we change it into SDG activities. So it's promoting SDGs locally and globally. Yes. And this is another activity we did. This is how 1,000 Arjuna sapling planted, This was an activity in collaboration again with the Phagwara Environmental Club and the district forest officer. They said that this is a patch which we'd like to make sure we develop a forest here. So we went there, and this is my grade 5 and 6 which went there. The SDM was there, the lady was there, and we were all planting saplings. Very, very happy about it. Yes. And this is the SDG Carnival. We have it every year in our school, and it's a whole school approach, and the whole class need to participate in any activity. So as I said, we dance, sing, and we do everything when it comes to SDGs. So the first picture is about peace, justice, and strong institution, where they were singing about peace as such, and then the climate action. Again, this was for my primary section up till up till grade 5 only. And you can see even my kindergarten participated. So this is the way they talk about, they do modeling, they do everything for SDGs. And then Shine for the Global Goals was another dance show which we had. And then we invite the parents also to the SDG carnivals and carnival. And then we invite the parents on the stage and they say, "Aapke liye ye no hunger ka kya matlab hai?" And they would tell us, for us, this is what no hunger means. हम भी agree करते हैं साफ पानी सबको होना चाहिए. And then, we had this selfie corner where we put everything to do with SDGs, and people can come and click pictures. You can see one grandparents getting a picture clicked with an SDG colored ring. And then in the end, you can see the everybody standing with a goal, and they were supposed to speak about a goal, and it is volunteer, and they just love to say it in their own language, Punjabi. They speak sometimes, कुछ लोग अंग्रेजी भी थोड़ी बहुत बोलते हैं. So it comes out. What a wonderful feeling we have. And then it's always a quick group picture by having the goal. So that's how the outreach is there. And these are the pictures of our classrooms, every year we have this SDG fair, and we have this learning marketplace, and which is also our SDG fair, where one goal is given to every class, and the class researches on it and then give a presentation. The local schools are invited and the parents are invited. And then the children talk about what particular SDG are they talking about, how it's related to our day-to-day life, and how we need to work on it. The central picture is my biology lab, and they're talking about life below water, goal number 14. And all other classes, you can see this is the way, and this is totally done by the children, and they keep doing it year after year after year. Yes. Yeah, this is an international project we started. It was the Friendly AI with 107 schools from 29 countries. And it was how AI can facilitate and accelerate achieving the United Nations 2030 agenda. Yes. Actually, I try to, we are using another presentation now. I tried to do away with all my pictures in the previous presentation to limit it and focus it in your, in this particular meet, but destiny had its own way. So this is when I had gone to United Nations headquarters and attended Education for Global Citizenship, and it was great fun being there, and I just loved and talked about global citizenship's role when it comes to SDGs. Yes. No, there was another opportunity, and that was, yes, Charu, that was mentoring the SDGs. Uh, yeah, we are stuck at a particular slide, Charu ma'am. Oh, never ever we had such problems. Anyways, so there was another activity, and that was in Ford Foundation. So it's heavy files, I believe. So in this Ford Foundation, it was innovation in SDG mentoring. So lucky to be the only principal around there from India, and we talked about how much we do on SDGs and how can we keep a record and monitor the effect. So that's it, and we move on next. And as we move to the online classes, we moved our SDG activities to the online classes. So I'm sure Charu would be back. In the meantime, the blessings of this remote learning was that we could take all our children, right from grade 7 onwards to Twitter. Earlier, all the teachers are on Twitter, and what they do in the classroom, they actually put it on the Twitter, and I can just check and give a pat there, well done, keep it up type of things. I'm so proud of you. But now the children also came on Twitter because they were supposed to share whatever they had created. So now COVID times, sustainable development goals online. Yes. We move on, and we started with activities right from the beginning. And the first activity which we did, yes, Charu, we move ahead. The first activity which we did was collaboration with UNODC, that's United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. This was when the headquarters, from the headquarters in Austria, we had Lula Sad, she and a fellow colleague Gilberto, they addressed the entire staff members that we're going to start a collaboration with you. And during COVID times, we're going to have lockdown learner series where the children would be involved. And we're lucky to have Vinnie Jory ma'am, who was part of this inaugural ceremony. Yes. And after that, we had this panel discussion. My grade 11 commerce were involved, and it was jobs at risk, COVID-19 research facts and predictions, promoting SDG 8, decent work and economic jobs. So relevant to the class, we go on for those particular jobs. And the children, they spoke, it was lots of research. What jobs we are going to lose? What are the predictions? So they really, really spoke very, very well, and it was a good show. Again, realizing, talking about the goals. And this was an online Punjabi poetry recitation. And again, the COVID-19's impact on children and adolescents. These were self-written poems by the students of grade 9 and 10. And this was also part of the Lockdown Learners series, which was in collaboration with UNODC. So they wrote various poems and they shared. And then the audience, if it's 9th and 10th, so it's entire 9th and 10th, so 250 odd children would be witnessing what was happening. So again, this was online paper presentation, and the theme was impact on human rights, peace and the rule of law, promoting SDG 16, peace, justice and strong institution. So the children researched on this, and then they prepared, they wrote a paper, and then they presented the paper using a PPT, and it was great. 122 students of grade 10 enjoyed this presentation. Yes. So these are all online, and then the fine arts department could not be left behind, and we would have our regular, the art classes also during the remote learning period, and some of them didn't have paint, so using a coffee at home, they painted these dove. So that's how we went on, and 152 students had drawn this dove. And then we had this My SDG icon. This was an activity for all children right from kindergarten till grade 5 primary. 6 also in some cases, and the senior children also in some cases, and they were supposed to use a newspaper and write down which goal was their icon, which goal they loved the most. And the little ones, they did hold the picture, and then they they got the picture and they shared it in the teams, in the chat window and so on. So the purpose is that when the little children, when my kindergarten is sharing a picture, means what? The parent is helping the child to do. That means what? The parents are involved. That means the local community is involved in all these things, all right? In practicing and preaching SDGs. Yes, Charu. So then we became a little more creative. See, remember in all this, the critical thinking skills is being developed, the creativity is being developed, the collaboration is being developed, the communication skills are being developed. So these activities form a regular learning during the remote learning, and of course, the various IT tools which they use. So these children, they wrote their own raps for a particular goal, and then they presented in front of grade 10 and 11, and there were 12 rappers. It was education and COVID-19 innovative approaches, which we used at that time. And then of course we took part in a number, means throughout the year I keep taking part in various opportunities which come on my way of talking about SDGs and sharing our experience and motivating educators from around the world. So there was this opportunity where again it was with the UNODC and took part in one such webinar. So it was education and COVID-19 innovative practices. Another opportunity, guest speaker for SDG Edu Chopal, that was 29th of June, and it was Teachers SDG Summit by SDG Edu Chopal. That was the first time I interacted with SDG Edu Chopal. Yes, when I got an invite to present our school's work. And then it was no looking back, and then the ed talks people they invited. So it was again imbibing nations international sustainable development goals in education. Then took part in World Children Conference, where again keynote speaker talked about imbibing the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal in school education. So it's going on and on. And this is one thing which is not at all tiring. Yes, Charu, and I just love it to the core, and can talk about SDGs 24/7. Children need to build a world the type they want, and they need to have a sustainable world and need to know what SDGs are all about. So they build the world of the type they wanted. And then September 25th is a time when SDGs Global Day is being celebrated. And this 10 days is generally recommended by the SDG Action Campaign, which is by the UNO. So we also had 10 activities lined up every day for the SDGs. And these are all online, and these are the activities we just had it in 2020. Yes, I'll come to these activities one by one now. So we had this, the first activity which we had was I love SDG number and then because. So the children were supposed to prepare a tile in Adobe Spark or anything the way they want, or one tile from the presentation as such, and they were supposed to tweet. So and in the junior classes, Adobe is pretty okay with my primary classes also. They can make some tiles. And in the junior classes, the teacher would tweet for them. So we were in a big way, and we would tag SDG Action Campaign, that's a tagline. And the teachers were not left behind, and I love SDG number so and so because. So the educators' messages were also there, and all of them put on the Twitter, why do they like a particular goal? Yes. And then after this, the next activity which was there was compose a jingle on a particular goal. So the children did prepare all these jingle. So quality education is every child's right. Only this will make our future bright is one jingle. And all these jingle are there. Life on land is a blessing of nature. Don't harm, but love every creature. So this is the way the children would do. And all this have gone to Twitter. And then it was comic attack. Then we had this comic strip. So the children are supposed to make comic strip, and we shared the tool. So just imagine the amount of learning which happened and the amount of madness which is there for the children, when they went for comic strips and they tweeted. The little ones, Peace Day celebration was there, and they would get the pictures clicked, not to, everybody's involved. And Peace Day is 26th, and the 21st is celebrated as International Day of Peace. And the children had all these pictures being shared. Yes. And then we moved on 22nd, we had this quatrain. Quatrain is 4 lines poem which a child was supposed to compose for a particular goal, and believe me, they did a great job. You and me all are same, don't judge because of name, fame, working together for an aim, turning steps for climate change. So this is the way they wrote 4 line quatrain on various goals, and it is a buzz in a school, and everybody writes, and everybody, when anything about SDG, everybody excited. It took 5 years to build this buzz. It took 5 years to build the culture of SDGs, but now there's no looking back. Yes. And then it was sloganation, so on 23rd. So we took every day one by one, and these are the slogans written by our children. 1, 2, 3, what is not free, everyone should pay, you, they, and we. So they tried to be creative the way they wanted, and then it was all on Twitter. We put all these slogans on the Twitter. Yes. And then this was a V Action Day. So SDG expert guest session was there on 24th, where we called the local people who have been doing some good work related to various SDGs. And the two children in the center, they are our ex-students. And they are the alumni, and they have opened up an NGO, which is One Hope Meet. So they were there, and other the we had this secretary of the Environment Club, and this is again Act for SDGs. The art club encouraged the children to paint their pots, and they went ahead. I love SDGs. So this is the way we go around. And then, oh, this was marvelous. This is SDG ramp walk by primary students and senior students. This was a whole class activity, and they would do it in the well-being call or in their office hours, or even in the zero period specifically, and there's an activity period also. Now all these children, the little ones, they were prepared by the parents. The little ones, they were supposed to have a triangular placard, and where the color, you can see that these triangular placards have been made by the parents, because it's all remote learning. And the children were expected to wear some color similar to the goal they were going to walk. So we would put the music, and then the children would walk, and the parents would have a video. In many cases, a mother and daughter were found, modeling. Everybody modeled, and just imagine the buzz which was created in the houses about SDGs. So our parents, children parent, they know what SDGs are. And these are my 11th class, my senior science students, and they also went for a catwalk, and they were supposed to hold the goal, and here they had to speak about why they love that particular goal and why they picked up for the ramp walk. Yes. Yeah, this was the annual celebration, the culmination day, and we had some visitors from MGIEP and UN Habitat Nairobi, and they talked about happiness and kindness, and they honored our school for doing such good work. Yes. Yeah, and this was a school, and this is the International Public School Bhopal, and they wanted that we should discuss all the SDGs with them, and and uh, this time I said not me, but my SDG ambassadors would be doing it. So I have all my children. I had about 11 of them, and there were 119 educators, and these 11 children talked about the various goals and how we are practicing those goals in our school, and they spoke, and I just summed it up in general in the end. Yes. And this is the climate action project everybody has been taking. We move ahead, and every year we participate, and this year also we participated. Yes, please. And then after the climate action project, again, I said every opportunity I get to speak, I don't miss it. But this is, we picked up another presentation that corrupted. So this was promoting UNO's this thing, seminar which I conducted for teachers, English teachers of Maharashtra, and then the Center's webinar series where the role of schools during COVID was talked about. And this is about the Microsoft Global Learning classes, and we made it a point that we connected 646 global classes in 47 countries in 48 hours. Day in and out, we had people connecting with us, and we made it a point to talk about SDGs so that our journey of creating awareness and advocacy for SDGs continues. So that's how we celebrated the Skypathon earlier and Microsoft Global Learning now. Kindness matters. We had these activities, we had these 5 activities, yes. And again, kindness, we felt that kindness is very important for SDGs. If we are kind, we'll be practicing, preaching and promoting SDGs. Again, this was again an activity online, how all of us can be kind when COVID is around. Again, the children had to write down their opinion, their mind, and then share it on the Twitter. Yes, the children are so happy when the principal actually likes it and retweet it with a small little comment. Very challenging, taxing for the principal, but yes, for SDGs, anything. And then kindness matters for SDG 13 climate action. So again, children made these posters, electronic posters, and even the manual posters, online posters, and we shared it. Yes. And then let's reduce all inequalities in every field, value human qualities. Now this is goal number 10, and the children had to write down their opinion on goal number 10 and share it on the Twitter. So we did that. Yes. And then my Green Diwali goal, and this is goal number 13, climate action. We worked on it, and goal number 15. So the children they again created the wonderful Spark, Adobe Spark, and short videos also, which they all shared. And this was the World Kindness Day on 13, and this is the posters and banners prepared by the children, and that's how we went around. And then the next is again another opportunity wherein this was with the Bangladesh teachers. They're celebrating World Teachers Day 2020 and Mujibur Year celebrations, which continues till March 2021. And I had to speak on the syllabus and curriculum to instill culture among our students. And I felt culture cannot be instilled till we practice and preach SDGs. So it was all focused on that, and we went ahead. So even Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat was shared by me. This was another seminar. This is Education for Justice, E for J. And was a global dialogue with international speakers and a collaboration with UNODC, when I talked about, again, SDGs and how we are practicing and how lockdown learner series went in our school. And then God's grace, and because of all the hard work the teachers are putting in, because of all the efforts the students are putting in to promote, practice and preach SDGs, the school principal was given the GEC award for SDGs. It's Inspiring Change Makers Award, GEC, the Giving Economy Change Makers. Thanks to my wonderful team of educators and students for doing such a fabulous job when it comes to SDGs. One of the latest activity was marking International Anti-Corruption Day. And again, this is peace, justice and strong institutions, which we talked about. And then this was in December, 9th of December, and the children gave some presentations on this. And the entire class becomes the audience. So we keep spreading SDGs. So every opportunity is encouraged, yes. And then this is again, now I was associated with SDG Chopal. Once I put up a presentation in June, and they just wanted me to be part of the organization. And SDG Chopal milestones, this organization, a government supported organization, started in December 2019. And on 19th of December, it completed it 1 full year, and they wanted me somehow, took everybody around that journey. And the result was somehow now hold the chair, SDG Edu Chopal. See, these chairs are not important to me. I never work for any chairs, for any honor, any organization. SDG is a passion for me, and I keep talking about SDGs. So that's it. That's the end of the presentation today. And I'm open to questions. Anything you want to say, anything you want me to speak about, I'm there to talk about. And SDGs passion, SDGs can never be, cannot be forced upon. It cannot be made compulsory. SDG has to come from the heart. Then everything works. All right. That's it. You're muted. Sandhya,
Yes.
you're muted. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. what is very evident is, I think there's a lot of echo.
No, it's all right. Here, for me, I don't hear your echo.
Okay. So there are all these small efforts which have a very cumulative effect in bringing about something which is very a lofty goal to the grassroots level. So what you have done is probably what we all of us do. There are a lot of activities, and we were echoing, yes, this is of what we do in our school, and this is also what we do are in a school. This is also what we do are in school. But yes, they are not exactly aligned to SDG. So what we have learned from your presentation, which I attended with the BCSE group, and the presentation which I attended today, was a single-minded focus and a goal in mind that whatever you are doing in the school has to be aligned to a lofty goal, and there is a purpose behind what we are doing. Whether we are taking children on Twitter, whether we are asking them to write slogans, whether we are asking them to make posters, there is a purpose behind it, and there is an increased awareness about it, which is somehow affecting and affecting the psyche of our children and community at large. And I think that when these children grow up to be the decision makers, they will make better decisions as compared to us, because we probably were not given that bigger a vision as a vision which is being given to children when they are supposed to, when they're supposed to make what they say, that act local and think global. So whatever you're doing can be summarized in this. Okay. So is there anybody else who wants to make a comment or anything? Divya and I think Richa ma'am, they have done some work on SDGs. Richa ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
could you
I
please share?
was
Yeah.
had the privilege to attend ma'am's session day before on the international platform which we were attending, Paramjeet ma'am. And
Yes.
since this was the first session I attended, but I'll definitely go by Sandhya ma'am's views that we have been doing all these activities for the past so many years, but not under the flagship of SDGs. And that probably today's workshop has given us a reason to, let our children also be aware of this. We have started these activities little by little and introduced our kids to SDGs also, and they realize, they also say that ma'am, we have been doing all this. In fact, in the COVID times, the zero hunger goal, they have been donating and they have been doing such activities. We've been doing it, but yes, we will now definitely target them towards SDGs. And thank you so much, ma'am. This was a very nice session, and we definitely look forward to international collaboration also, and we'll be attending your panel discussions later on. We'll definitely be following that 8 month path which you have been guiding to us for. Thank you, ma'am.
Actually, everybody is working on SDGs unknowingly, but we
Yes,
have to make it visible. Only thing is, we have to make it visible. That's important.
that that's very important. So, thank you, ma'am. Thanks once again. Despite all the technical glitches, it's been an absolutely enriching session. And, it's your talking about it which was more effective than those pictures. So, your passion does come across very evidently when you speak about it, and you know the nitty-gritties of everything. So, thanks so much for inspiring us. And I think at the back of mind of each one of our teachers, whether it is an activity teacher or it is a science teacher or it is a math teacher, she must be thinking that, this is the place where I can link my SDGs. And this is what we are going to now do, is an audit as to where we can link SDGs in our classroom transactions and in our activities. So thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. It was a
Thank
pleasure.
you, Sandhya. Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you, my beloved teachers, for being so patient and listening. God bless you. And be the change agents and be the SDG goalkeepers. Take care of these goals. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.